Welcome back. This time, let's talk about two more properties of real numbers, the identity property and the inverse property. For addition, 0 is the identity element of addition because whatever number you add to 0, the answer is a number itself. For example, when A is added to 0 or 0 is added to A, the answer is still, oh, it's not 0. It should be A. So, for example, 7 plus 0, the answer is still 7. Or if we have negative 3 plus 0, the answer is still negative 3. For multiplication, the identity element is 1. Because whatever number you multiply to 1, the answer is the number itself. For example, A times 1 or 1 times A is equal to A. Another, 10 times 1 is equal to 10. Or 1 times 5 is still equal to 5. Let's have more examples. 5 plus 0, the answer is still 5 itself. 7 times 1, the answer is still 7 itself. Now let's go to the inverse property. If in the identity property 0 is added and 1 is multiplied, in the inverse property 0 is the answer for addition and 1 is the answer for multiplication. In the inverse property, the number is added to its additive inverse. For example, if the number is 5, its additive inverse is negative 5. If the number is negative 3, what's its opposite? Yes, it's positive 3. So, once we add 5 and negative 5, the answer is 0. If we add negative 3 plus 3, the answer is still 0. Next, for multiplication, the product of the number and its multiplicative inverse is 1. How do we get the multiplicative inverse? It is the reciprocal of the number. For example, the reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. So 1/2 is called the multiplicative inverse. For 1/2, its reciprocal is 2. We simply interchange the numerator and the denominator. So 2 is the multiplicative inverse for 1/2. Let's have more examples. 8 plus its opposite, negative 8, the answer is 0. So this is an inverse property. Negative 5, what's the opposite of negative 5? It's 5. So the answer is 0. Or 20. You multiply it to its multiplicative inverse, that's 1 over 20. The answer is 1. Or 2/3 multiplied by its multiplicative inverse, 3/2, the answer is 1. So, if the answer is either 0 for addition and 1 for multiplication, inverse property is used. Pause for a moment as you answer the try this section. Now let me answer the try this section. Negative 7 plus blank equals negative 7. If you notice, the answer is the number itself. So what was added? 0. And we have used the identity property. Next, let me go directly to the answers. Negative 7 plus blank equals 0. The answer is 0. So it means that we've applied the inverse property. Now what's the opposite of negative 7? It is 7. Next, 0 plus blank equals 5. 0 is being added. So our number here is 5. And we have used the identity property. Next, -2 plus blank equals 0. The answer in addition is 0. So we have applied the inverse property. So it means that we have added the opposite of -2, and its opposite is +2. Number 5, 7 times blank equals 7. The answer is the number itself. So we have applied the identity property. And the identity element is 1. The last number, 7 times blank equals 1. The answer is 1 for multiplication. So we have used the inverse property. Now, what is the multiplicative inverse of 7? Yes, its reciprocal is 1/7. Now, pause for a while we move to the distributive property.